Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this September 3rd. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Over the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. We appreciate it. Alright, so yesterday and the day before, we've gone over an instance where Jesus is confronted by the Jewish religious leaders, the elders, teachers of the law. And yesterday, we saw two different stories, similar stories that Jesus used to describe what the nation of Israel has been doing, what their attitude has been toward God as of late. And basically telling them that you have failed in your duty as God's people. You have failed miserably what God has asked you to do. So you will not enter the kingdom of heaven when the time comes. These other people, these people that don't know God over here, these tax collectors, prostitutes, sinners, later on the Gentiles, they will inherit the kingdom of God well before you. All right? So let's continue on. We're going to read another story, and it's similar to a story we've read before. Let's go to Matthew chapter 22, start in verse 1. Jesus used some more stories to teach the people. He said, God's kingdom is like a king who prepared a wedding feast for his son. He invited some people to the feast. When it was ready, the king sent his servants to tell the people to come, but they refused to come to the king's feast. Then the king sent some more servants. He said to them, I have already invited the people, so tell them that my feast is ready. I have killed my best bulls and calves to be eaten. Everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast. But when the servants told the people to come, they refused to listen. They all went to do other things. One went to work in his field, and another went to his business. Some of the other people grabbed the servants, beat them, and killed them. The king was very angry. He sent his army to kill those who murdered his servants, and the army burned their city. After that, the king said to his servants, The wedding feast is ready. I invited those people, but they were not good enough to come to my feast. So go to the street corners and invite everyone you see. Tell them to come to my feast. So the servants went into the streets. They gathered all the people they could find, good and bad alike, and brought them to where the wedding feast was ready. And the place was filled with guests. When the king came in to meet the guests, he saw a man there who was not dressed in the right clothes for a wedding. The king said, Friend, how were you allowed to come in here? You were not wearing the right clothes. But the man said nothing. So the king told some servants, Tie this man's hands and feet. Throw him out into the darkness where people are crying and grinding with their teeth in pain. Yes, many people are invited, but only a few are chosen. All right, so this is very, very similar to the story we read before about the feast that the man puts on for his people. In this instance, it's a king putting on a wedding feast, right? And he goes, everything's prepared. He's got the whole spread. He's killed all his best animals. Everything's prepared, ready to go. And so he sends his servants out to the people he invited to bring them in. But for one reason or another, they all refuse. They don't come. Some go about their own business. Others just decide to be super mean and kill the servants for whatever reason. Okay. So obviously we see the picture here that the king is God, right? And, the spread is the kingdom of God. And then the people that he invites is the nation of Israel, his chosen people. So he sends out his servants, the prophets, once again, to bring them into the kingdom, to bring them into this feast. But they refuse. They don't listen. They rather do their own thing or kill the people God sends instead of coming to God. And so God is furious. And then he sends his army to wipe out those who murdered his servants, okay? So that's an allusion to probably later on in the future during the end times when, the harvest comes and God will reap the harvest. He will bring in those who have believed in Jesus, those who follow Jesus into his kingdom, while everyone else will be made to suffer in the tribulation, right? And then the second part of the story is the king, God says, all right, the people I invited, They didn't come, they're not good enough. Go and invite everyone you see. He tells the servants to go out to the streets and bring in everyone. Okay. And they do. They bring in everybody, good people, bad people, rich people, poor people, black people, white people, men, women, everyone that they find is brought to this feast. And the place is packed, it is full, right? So, again, this is an allusion to God calling out to everyone else, offering his grace to the wider world, to the Gentiles, and to the lost souls of the world, right? So Israel refused to listen to Jesus. Then God said, all right, I'm going to extend my grace to the Gentiles. I will send my apostle out to the Gentiles to preach the good word. They will become part of my family. They will become children of God alongside Jesus Christ, right? And then the last part there alludes to what Jesus says in the very last part. Many are invited, but only a few are chosen. So God knows exactly who is going to accept his gift. God knows exactly who will accept his grace, whose names are written in the book of life. He knows. He sees every branch, every timeline, every possibility, every choice, every decision. He sees all of it. So he knows exactly who will accept and who will deny, right? And that's more or less what he's referring to here. The gift is out there. The offer is out there for everybody. Everybody has access to this. They just have to believe. They have to take it. There are no strings attached. There's nothing they have to do except believe. Believe that Jesus Christ died and rose again on the third day for the forgiveness of sins. That's it. But not everyone will believe that. Not everyone can believe that. Some people are just blind to the truth. Some people just don't want to believe. They'd rather go their own way. That's just the sin nature in us trying to do things on our own, trying to be like God, right? Many are called, but only a few will accept, right? So hopefully you are one of those few that will accept. Okay, that's all for today. We'll pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.